today I had the great fortune to be talking to my friend, Sachin Pav Can. Can you help me with that, Sachin?
Sure. Yeah, Liz, it's Sachin Pavithran.
Thank you. And he's the director of policy at the Center for Persons with Disability, one number UCEDD in Utah, and he's also the president of the AUCD Board. So welcome, Sachin.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks for having me on.
The first question is, I have heard that as a person with a disability and a person of color, you have experienced abuse, and we're sorry for that. Would you mind sharing your story with us?
Sure, Liz. Many of us, people of color have had different experiences when it comes to, racial discrimination. Some are mild, some are significantly extensive than others, but they're all important to be paid attention to. I've personally had several different experiences, and some worse than the others. For the longest time, I've kept quiet about it because I wasn't sure what to do about it. More than anything, I was embarrassed because I was not sure how to deal with it, and I was surprised it happened to me. With everything that's going on right now in our country, the conversation around police brutality and hate crimes, I want to touch on one particular experience that has some relationship with the conversation going on. This incident happened a couple of decades ago when I was still a college student. It was myself and my friend. We're heading back to campus, and he and I, we just left our friend's house. We're heading back to campus. We pulled over at this one place, which is slightly isolated. We were just hanging out and talking. We were listening to music, and we were chatting about some of the things that we were, we were discussing earlier before we left. All of a sudden, there's, I want to say floodlights, like there's lights and sirens, and both our doors were pulled open. My friend is Filipino. Myself, I'm Black. No, I'm Indian, but I come across as, people think I'm Black because of how dark I am. Being brown, sometimes people don't distinguish whether you're brown or Black. They just look at you at a distance and they react the way it is. So my friend and I, we just got pulled out. And then next thing we know, they're yelling at us. This is nighttime. I couldn't really tell what was going on. It was too loud. And I knew they were cops. That's all I knew because they were giving us a bunch of orders. Within a matter of a few seconds, and I get pushed to the back of his truck. The cop pushing me was telling me to go a certain way, but he's pointing. I couldn't see where he was pointing. I kept saying, I can't see, I'm blind, but it just didn't matter. They didn't listen to what I'm saying. Whenever I tried to say something, I got pushed. And when I got to the back of the truck, every time I tried to touch the truck so I could follow at least the truck to get to the back, they would basically slap my hand off the truck. And it was so unreal. I just did not know what was going on. I knew there were at least 2 or 3 other police cars out there, and there was probably well over 6 or 8 police officers from what I could gauge. I couldn't talk to my friend. My friend tried to explain he's blind, nothing. We just got yelled at. Next thing I know, I'm pushed to the ground where I'm kneeling, and all I could think is what is going to happen? Why are we? And when I asked the question, what is going on? I heard, my friend asked that question, and all we got is shut up, and we know what you've been up to. I want to say it lasted probably 4 or 5 minutes, but it felt like it was forever, because all of a sudden, um, I hear one of the officers say, "These are the wrong guys," and they took off. And when I kept yelling, asking, "What's your name?" and one of them came and just smacked me on the head, which at that point my forehead just bounced off the tailgate of the truck. It's an incident that really shook me, and it really made me fearful of my surroundings. I wasn't sure what to do, because here are cops who you are supposed to trust, and they basically abused both of us with no reason. There was no apology, nothing. Neither of us knew who they were. We were not able to get any identification. There were bright lights shining at us, so my friend couldn't even see who they were. It really changed how how we were thinking. I didn't talk about it for a long time. I've had other incidents happen since then, which was equally scary, but this was probably one of my worst experience when it comes to police. And when I say about these kind of things to other people, people are surprised, like, how would something like that happen to someone like you? Well, I don't think these incidents choose who it happens to. And it's not something you plan on. It just happens, and then it's stuck with you. It's engraved in you for the rest of your life.
Thank you, Sachin, for sharing your story with us. Why are you willing to share your story now?
Plus, with everything going on right now in this country, people are not sure how much this really happens. People need to know this happens more than they realize. These kind of stories are stories of people around you, people in your neighborhood, people in your work setting, people in your community that you live in. There's this misperception that this happens only in unique situations in big cities, in inner cities. This happened in a little university town here. All these things happen all over the country. Now, I'll throw one other example, real short one out there. This happened right after 9/11. I was working on campus. I was coming back to my office from a different part of campus, and nothing much. I was just walking along the sidewalk, heading towards campus, and all of a sudden, this person was right in front of me, and all he said was, "Go back to your home country, you desert," and he used the N-word, and he took off. I had no description of this person. I have no idea who this is. I'm blind. I can't see him. So there's no way for me to convey to anyone. It just shocked me. But people don't realize these happen. So it needs to happen. Now, that wasn't as traumatic as the other one, but it still is bad.
Well, as I said, thank you very much for sharing your story. Tuesdays with Liz is a weekly video series that is in plain language, highlighting current issues in disability policy. It's hosted by me, Liz Weintraub, a longtime disability advocate, and produced by AUCD. We welcome your comments. Please contact myself, Liz Weintraub, at lweintraub@aucd.org, or Rylan Rogers, rrogers@aucd.org. And It's produced by Jalen Marks, J. Marks, at AUCD.org.